Time now for the Daily Answer, sponsored by Salem Surround on The Answer Now TV.
Walk into the studio and people are mad at you. Boy, what have you done? People are fired up.
Oh, Lordy. Oh, for being real mellow, for being mellow and all THC'd up. Those are some testy kitties, man, when you come after their THC.
They're not happy with you. Walk in, Mike. You've got to talk Mark off the ledge on this THC issue. He's making a fool of himself. He's going to lose his listeners. Why does he think he's morally superior? Don't shoot the messenger.
It's not about me. It's not about my morals or my thoughts. Guess what? Let me just, without making it about me, is it a more moral and better society that doesn't legalize more intoxicants? I'd say yes, it is. Is it a more moral society that prevents babies from being murdered? Do you think I'm being holier than thou or self-righteous when I talk about protecting the unborn? Give me a king-size break. Can I ask you something that's not about taking a side on that? Because I don't know if you want to.
I don't really want to.
You're okay. I know my buddy.
Well, I look. There's a bigger. I mean, look. It's a big
so
issue
many fish
in
to fry.
Texas,
but here's the thing. Just since this will be a whole lot of the rest of today's show, as Lieutenant Governor Patrick is with us at 8:35 and Michael Quinn Sullivan 9:05. You're fresh back from New York. You're fresh back from New York. I've been a few times. I don't go as often as you, but we've been a few times. And it is just palpable and noticeable how much of the magnificent island of Manhattan now reeks of weed.
It's like you're under a constant marijuana cloud on every corner. People smoking it just on the street corners. It smells like pot everywhere you go. And of course, these cannabis stores are, proliferating all over Manhattan. And it's happening all over the country. I mean, I'm afraid the ship has sailed. I could be wrong. I don't know if you can put the toothpaste back into the tube.
Horse back to the barn.
But speaking of New York, there is a major epic thing that's happening today.
Yes, I wanted to read my mind. The election. The mayor of New York City is a big job. It's our biggest city. It's who the mayor of New York City is kind of matters on a national scale for reasons I don't know. We can examine, but tell everybody the big personalities involved in this.
Well, there's only one that we need to be worried about and actually terrified about. His name is Zohran Mandani. He's been an American citizen for only 7 years. He's a former rapper who had his rap career funded by his wealthy mama. This is a Muslim defund the police, far left activist,
socialist, actual socialist.
A literal socialist who is charming, smiles big, bright smile. He's captivated, young people who love AOC and Bernie. He's a stop the oligarchs kind of a guy. He's also a guy who believes that the police need to be removed from, check this, high crime areas of New York City.
That's good.
He wants the police taken out of the high crime neighborhoods and replaced with social workers. Honest to gosh, that's a true position. He wants to open city-run grocery stores because the government does things so well already. You go to the DMV. I mean, just how perfect this is going to be. Take a number and get a ribeye over in aisle 4, run by the city of New York. This guy is a wolf in sheep's clothing, if there ever was one. The problem is the choice in New York is just awful because it's either him or Cuomo. Cuomo's back from the dead.
He is. This, of course, is Andrew Cuomo, who was governor, and that just imploded on him for COVID mismanagement and a number of other things.
That's the choice.
Isn't his name big enough? Aren't our memories short enough? And doesn't he and his whole family name with his dad, Mario Cuomo, brother Chris doing yeoman's work on a cable network that's trying to be semi-even-handed, isn't he a big enough deal that he's going to cruise? Isn't this his race to lose?
That's not what the polls are saying.
I know. And
the polls are saying Mamdani has surged ahead. That he's captive. A lot of young people are voting crazily, and of course they are. Why wouldn't they?
Are they?
Well, we're going to see.
Has a basic thing in American life changed? And it's an old James Carville quote. It says, "Yeah, there's a name for a party that depends on the youth vote. Loser." Because the theory was that young people just don't vote with much energy.
Yeah. Speaking of guys Speaking of guys with accents, I'm going to play, I think, the whole 13-minute rant from Dr. Phil about the state of today's Democrat Party. Dr. Phil, of all people, just says, look, today's party is unrecognizable.
Yes.
They are pro-Hamas. They're anti-law enforcement.
Yeah.
They're pro-open borders. It's unrecognizable, and Dr. Phil has a moment of sanity. Look, let's just hope New Yorkers have a moment of clarity. I'm not a Cuomo fan for obvious reasons, but I'll tell you something. If this guy somehow winds up as the mayor of New York City, I'm not kidding you, Mart, kiss it goodbye. It would be awful. This guy, first of all, NBC of all places found what a fake he is. He takes on all these different accents. He talks like Middle Eastern. Oh, it's unbelievable.
What?
Yep. Well, he's a Muslim, and he
so he
talks.
goes into a mosque, and all of a sudden, hello, I'm so glad to be here. What?
Yes.
It's like Obama at a black church. I mean,
absolutely.
Wow.
He's got a bunch of fake accents.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, this guy. But more than that, I mean, look,
I know.
It's not the Muslim thing, And of course, his defenders say, the racist bigots don't like. Has nothing to do with the fact he's Muslim. Has to do with all of his terrible, destructive policies. All you got to know is he wants police removed from high crime neighborhoods.
It's all about. Listen, Bernie could be running for mayor of New York, a white man, and his ideas are just as bad, and we'd be just as upset about that. Last thing on this, because here's another thing that is kind of important around the country, because here's another thing that's catching on, and I wish it would die. Ranked choice voting.
I know. That's a Lisa Murkowski trick.
It's insane.
That's what she got done.
For those that don't, usually it's like for today's election, for the Democrats, of course, you got Cuomo, you got this guy. The independent candidacy will be Eric Adams. Why did he leave why did he vote?
They're mad at him because he embraced law and order, and the Democrat establishment got mad at him and kicked him out.
Does he is he thus crippled running as an independent, or does he have a chance?
No, I don't think he has a chance at all. And what I'm hopeful about, and I'm probably, this is wishful thinking, Curtis Lewa on the Republican side. Curtis, if New Yorkers are fed up enough with crime, and they are, I mean, it's really bad. I mean, I'll tell you this. Just getting back last night by way of Orlando because of, again, a diverted plane because of a storm. And you should have seen that conversation. We land at Orlando.
Yep,
I'm literally in the first row of the plane, right by the door.
Of course you are.
And we have to get diverted to Orlando because there's a thunderstorm over Tampa. And I get that. That's not their fault. All right, we're going to run out of fuel, so we got to divert to Orlando. I'm thinking, crap, here we go again. So they pull up to the gate, and the flight attendant is talking to the pilot, and the pilot's saying, well, I don't want him to get off here. We're just going to fuel and go. We're going to fuel and go.
Okay.
Well, they pull up to the gate. They open the door. The door is 5 feet from me. I have my carry-on bag because all I want to do is get off the plane, rent a car, and drive because it's only an hour and 10-minute drive. Right. Well, pilot doesn't want to let anybody off.
Oh, man.
And I'm thinking, no. And so then this sassy gate agent comes onto the plane.
Oh, I love the sassy gate agent.
I love this. And the sassy gate agent takes control and says, look, you want to get off? Make sure you get all your bags and get off. And I loved it. I wanted to give the guy a big hug because he overruled the pilot basically and said, yeah, we're going to be here long enough.
So you did that?
I'm off the plane, rented a car, got to Tampa, was in bed by 10:30.
Okay, I know this is weird, and because you should be able to get off a plane where you're no longer a terrorist. But don't airlines just have a horrible bugaboo about people interrupting their flight, getting off where they're not supposed to get off, getting on where you're not supposed to get on? Anything you do that interrupts the exact letter of your reservation gives the airlines 14 heart attacks. Haven't you found that to be true?
Let me give you the airline rule.
Yeah.
They can do whatever what they want to do.
Well, there you are.
It's like when they close the door when they're leaving.
I know.
If you're late, they can open the door again.
You can be
I've
standing
seen them open the door
you're
again.
told they can't. You come up to the gate, you're running late, we've all done this.
Can't do it.
And
Can't open the door.
They just closed the door. They're still 5 minutes from backing out, but they closed the door. You're standing there.
Right.
I'm looking at the plane. Here's my ticket. Let me on.
Right.
And they go, nope.
And They'll tell you that it's like some hermetically sealed thing from Harry Potter, that once the door is closed, you can't break the seal.
If they open it back again, the spirits of death will come in and wrap themselves around and kill the passengers.
The dormitors or whatever they are that fly around will come down and suck out your soul. Oh, no, they can open the door if they want to. And incidentally, I've watched, and the reason I know it is because I've seen them do it. They'll do it if they want to. So you know what they did yesterday? What? The sassy gate agent had no problem, but now there was a system, I will tell you. You just don't walk off. Right. You got to go to, he took your driver's license and checked me out of the flight when in Orlando. So you just can't leave, because you're right. Technically, you're booked all the way to Tampa. You just can't walk away. So anyway, but anyhow, got home, settled in, and just absorbing, praying for New York, and I'm praying for the Middle East. I've never had to use my 10-second dump on a president of the United States before. This morning, President Trump let it loose. He is obviously ticked. Look, Dad is home and he's mad.
That's it.
Daddy's pissed, and he is not thrilled with it. It sounds like an errant rocket came out of Iran, didn't go anywhere. They intercepted it. Well, that just ticked off Israel.
And so Israel now unloaded.
They want to unleash holy hell now on Iran. And Trump is like, wait, stop it. We got
to ceasefire here. What are you doing? Cut it out. Yeah.
And you could tell in the comments that you played a few moments ago that President Trump alluded to the fact that it sounds like one errant missile, maybe. Look, if Iran is going to break the ceasefire, they're not going to have one little dinky missile.
I would think
it's going to be a barrage.
I would think
so. Something went wrong somewhere. Something happened, and now Israel is like, "Oh no, no, you don't." And here we go. And President Trump, he says it so perfectly because he's right. They have been fighting for so long and for so hard. They don't know what the blank they're doing. And he's right. And it's got to stop. And so, look, this is definitely a shaky ceasefire, I would concede, but it's also arguably Trump's finest hour because, as you so perfectly put it, it's a heck of a lot better than raging all-out war right now.
But what's better than a ceasefire?
An unconditional surrender.
Exactly.
And Mark Levin is right.
That as lovely as a ceasefire is compared to missiles flying back and forth, peace is not what you get when everybody just stops firing off rockets. That's not peace. Peace is what you get when the good guys finally win. And
Mark Levin has been getting a lot of flack for saying, I hate that phrase, ceasefire.
Yeah,
but you're right.
But it's unfortunate if we look at ceasefire and go, oh, good, we're done here. We are in
That's
no
right.
ways
We're
done.
not done. But speaking of Mark Levin, are you seeing the back and forth between him and Marjorie Taylor Greene? No. Holy moly.
Well,
they are going at it. I mean, it is brutal. I mean, because and Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's just all in against our intervention. And
Matt Walsh did not go full Tucker in his post, but overnight he said that Trump is better equipped to handle this than anybody else. Things it's great that this has gone. but now I want to pull completely back and I'm going to pull out of this completely and and just pay attention to America's own problems. Dude, a nuclear Iran is an American problem. That full-on interventionism, Lindsey Graham style, that's not smart. So equally unwise is sticking your head in the sand.
That's right. Well, Axios has a headline, Trump's swings on Iran leave MAGA with whiplash. Oh, we don't know. We're confused. Baloney. A poll came out last night. 90% of MAGA supports what Trump is doing.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel. Stay informed anytime, anywhere with the Salem News Channel and 9:30 a.m. TheAnswer.com. This has been The Daily Answer, sponsored by Salem Surround on The Answer Now TV.